This is Sean, wherever you are in the world or wherever you are in the United States. Hopefully, you're having a great morning. The time is, if I need to reference something, then check out the description box, but I don't think I'm going to. Today's video, I want to talk about foot chases, foot pursuits. Should private security engage in them? And I want to begin with just giving you a simple answer. If you're in private security, consult your policy manual, consult your post orders. If it states, yes, you shall apprehend persons suspected of committing crimes on client property, then that authorizes you to engage in a foot pursuit. It tells you to apprehend. It's only obvious and it's common sense that if you're apprehending somebody, or you need to apprehend somebody, if they're running away, then the only way to apprehend them is to pursue them. So, hey, Mike from the Professional Security Journal, thank you very much for moderating. I suspect that there won't be a lot of people this morning because it's the morning, right? Trolls usually wake up in the evening time, but we're not concentrated on trolls. It's just improper language in the comments of the live stream, because for some reason this live stream attracts a lot of inappropriate comments. Anyhow, consult with your post orders, consult with your policy manual if you should be running after people. I found that it's a terrible idea to run after somebody if you are working private security, especially by yourself. Have you guys seen the movie? And man, I rarely watch movies, but when I do, I really get intrigued by them. I hate watching cop movies. I rather watch like Planet of the Apes or something like that. Sometimes sci-fi stuff, or like scary movies, but I hate cop movies. But for some reason, I was forced to watch Final Watch. If you haven't seen that movie, make sure that you watch it. As for accuracy on whether or not these things happen, yeah, these things happen, but it's not all that dramatic, right? But there's a scene where the officers, they run after somebody, and all of a sudden they go into like gang territory. They go into a courtyard, and then they're fired upon. You don't know where this person is leading you to. Like, you don't know if they have a plan. They might tell their buddies, hey, we're going to steal some jewelry. We're going to run behind the alley. If private security runs after us, make sure that you guys help me out and, jump them as soon as I enter the alley. We'll just ambush them. Like, these are things that are actually discussed in private security. And you could probably assume that, like, if it's a jewelry store, a watch store, something like that, and then they're working with somebody else, they planned this already. They done their surveillances, and you're too late for the show. You are absolutely too late for the show. So I just think that's too dangerous for private security to be doing that. And then also, what's your risk versus reward? What is your risk and what is your reward? Are you getting $10 an hour, $15 an hour, 20? I mean, if you're getting $20 an hour in Los Angeles, you're getting paid too little. But let's just say you're getting that, and then your employer expects you to chase people. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, when you look at the risk-reward ratio, you're getting paid whether you catch somebody or not. Now, I'm telling you, in my early days, I got, oh my goodness, how much was the pay? It was, minimum wage was like $5.45, and then I got into private security, it was like $6.10, something like that. I actually have old pay stubs. I'll have to show you guys one day. And I love running after people. I love getting in pursuits. With the golf cart and with the company truck that we had, but that's Sean exploring the world, getting into trouble. I made the most terrible decisions. I still make bad decisions, but not as bad as when I was younger. I can admit it's exciting to do this. Hopefully many of you still have that thrill, right? Or that those thrill-seeking adventures. Hopefully not, right? Another thing is this: I constantly watch these security channels on Instagram. By the way, I'm on Instagram under the Firearms Trainer. The Firearms Trainer, easy to remember. And with a lot of these channels, there's private security officers running after people. There was this occasion where I saw a private security officer running like into people's backyards, hopping fences. No, don't do that. I also consulted with a subscriber who told me that his supervisor was running after somebody that committed a 459 in California. A 459 is a California penal code for burglary, right? Committed a burglary, and he ran out the property. The security supervisor chased him and ended up tasering him off the property. I mean, guys, you're talking about like blocks and blocks and blocks away from the contract property. If you get into a foot chase, you're gonna forget where your boundary lines are. That is a realistic issue. You're gonna forget where the sidewalk ends, and you're gonna engage off property. Once you're off property, the insurance company that insures the security company that you work at covers your losses. They're not going to cover you if you get into an incident that's off property. They're not. I mean, why should they cover you? You're not even on contracted property. So what ends up happening is your employer is going to say, you know what, you're all on your own. We're not covering you. This is past beyond the scope of your employment. It's beyond the scope of your employment. I talked to somebody not too long ago. I'm not going to name phone conversation, and this security officer did something proactive within the scope of his employment, and the employer says, "Hey, don't worry, I got your back. You don't got to worry about a thing. Don't worry about it." Later on, social media outlets got a hold of the incident, and this person's employer left him out to dry. Gave him the red notice, the termination papers. Bye, see you later. I'm telling you guys, a lot of these employers, it's us versus them. If I ran my own security company again, I'd probably be fired because I would back up my people all the way to the end. I mean, whatever happened to a man's word or even a woman's word is their signature. It just seems like that doesn't happen again. It just seems like when somebody says something, they don't mean it. Let's go talk about police work. Okay, in police work, you would, if it's even worth catching somebody, right? Like if I know that somebody's running away from me and there's like an intersection and I know who the person is, I'm going to stop the pursuit. I'm going to stop the pursuit, back off, and start setting a perimeter or containment. The reason being is I don't want to be legally responsible when that person runs into traffic. And there's a possibility that if you run after somebody and they run into traffic and get hurt, it's going to go back to you, even though they committed a crime. Guys, the attorney fees are going to wreck you alone. It's not necessarily the judgment afterwards. It's the attorney fees wreck you first. You might not even get to the end of the trial with representation. But what police end up doing many times is if they can catch the person, like get out of their patrol car or just get out and catch them, then they do that. If they can't, then they set up containment. That's what usually happens. And with police officers, depending on the city, they might have an air unit available. They might have a canine available. They might have 5 officers. If you're in LA, they might have like 30 officers setting perimeter. And here you are as private security, going on a foot chase by yourself. Okay? I'm not trying to diminish the scope of private security. I'm just saying, is it worth it? You don't have the same resources as law enforcement. And also, what happens when this person decides, what the hell, what am I running for, right? Oh, it's just security. Let me just turn around and take care of this. You don't know if they're going to turn around and start attacking you. I talked to a Hawthorne, California police officer that's somewhere near Long Beach. This was like over 24 years ago. And he told me, we were taking a PT test for, I think 23 years ago. We were taking a PT test for Irvine PD. He was trying to transfer over his lateral. I was trying to get hired as a recruit. He told me that he chased after somebody. He scaled over a wall, like a brick wall. And as he landed on the other side, the knife was already in his hand. Like right there. So the question is it, was it really worth running after somebody? You got stabbed in the hand. I mean, your hand is probably near your throat when you're scaling the fences. So guys, let them, and especially like a trespass, right? If they're leaving the company property, they're running away, they're doing exactly what you want them to do. Shoplifting, can that item be replaced? Can that $3 bar of soap, can it wait to be replaced? Just something to think about. Now, quite honestly, if I worked at a jewelry store, and something happened, there's something called insurance. There's something called insurance. Now, if you are working a property where they're selling, maybe there's like a convention, right? They're selling gold rings. And it's away from the factory, it's away from the store, it's on another premises, and somebody runs away. Well, with the jewelry, the chances are, once again, that item is probably insured. Because I don't know of a whole lot of jewelers that are not going to insure that item. Okay. Let me just go through the comments real quick. Mr. Fusion, no sleep squad. You are on record with, like, I think you're tied with the Professional Security Journal. You guys don't sleep. Chill Lucid said, hey, he said, hey, I have a few questions about the hiring process for police officers. Could you answer a few questions for me? Thank you, Mike. So please, I'll defer that question to Mike. If you have a question about something I did not cover, yeah, for sure. If you're somebody that frequently contributes to this channel, not just hi or bye, there's been some like dialogue, you're a freaking contributor, I don't mind answering those questions at all. Even if I did a video on it, like just very briefly, but a lot of people just stop here for one question and then they leave. So I'm invested in those who have Mike from the Professional Security Journal. I'm pretty sure you have a lot of experience with safeguarding property that is expensive, right? So yeah, he says items are insured. To hell with it. Exactly. Fusion says, I mean, fighting with people with getting like 10 grand worth of items back and being armed, but otherwise chasing them out of the store and they're already in their car. Yeah, not worth the risk. Nope. Mr. Fusion says, Sean, I'm sure you're not going lights and siren to chase someone over stealing $10 with traffic being high. Nope. Absolutely not. Yesterday, Walmart called that like 3 or 4 times. Hey, we have somebody just stole, running away. Again, I told one of the guys, and loss prevention already knew the guy's name, and it was about the end of watch. And I told this guy, look, I told one of my employees, we're not going to be chasing this guy. Please give the RP, which is the reporting party, a phone call, get the property, get just a property list, give them this incident number, and ask them, how do you know this person that just stole this stuff from the store? And I was telling him, we can always just request a warrant later on, right? Why are we going to haul ass through traffic in pursuit of this guy if we have him identified already? Many times Walmart security does have these people identified, because they'll detain somebody, they'll arrest them for shoplifting, they'll go forth with the charges, and then law enforcement will issue a cite and a release. Sometime there, they'll pull out his identification out of his wallet, and then loss prevention will take note. So now they can say, on this date and time, law enforcement identified this individual as whoever it is, with a date of birth here and with a home address of here, and then they'll take a photograph. So that's how they would properly identify them. Mr. Fusion says, is a security company supposed to cover a guard when they get into use of force? And Mike helped me out and gave a appropriate answer. Thank you so much. He also says, organized crime, they're always armed. Way back in my career, I remember being allied at a mall trespassing for property with Macy's LP doing the trespass. On the counter was OC cans. Yeah, that's the thing, guys. It's like, what are you going to do when somebody has OC and they use it against you and then you're armed, right? What are you going to do? I'm not saying that you cannot use your firearm. I'm just saying that you have to be able to articulate it. Mike from the Professor Security Journal has an awesome channel. Make sure you guys watch his videos. I think he just uploaded one last night. I'll watch it when I pull back into traffic. He has experience with OC. He's an OC instructor. He will be able, if he has to use a firearm, he will be able to articulate why he used his firearm. A lot of people watching these videos can't. They can't, and we've even asked them to articulate in the comments, and a lot of people cannot articulate it well. All right, guys. So, Professor Security Journal says, my current suited security position in the Guardian watches of Switzerland. These watches are anywhere from 2K to 500K. Jeez. And I assure you that they're probably insured. They're probably insured. I can easily see somebody in there grabbing a watch, and then running out, and then that person expecting private security, like who's plainclothes, running after them, and then all of a sudden 2 more guys will straight go inside of the store or this area and take all the watches that were remaining. That's also a possibility. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Take care. Looking forward to the